The FBI, or the Federal Bureau of Investigation, is one of the most powerful agencies in the United States. They're involved in domestic intelligence and security of the country. They have a gigantic budget of nearly $10 billion a year, which allows them to do a lot of things. And they're pretty much the American equivalent of the British MI5 or the Russian FSB. The FBI monitor tens of thousands of people every year. But how do you know if you're one of them? Are you being spied on by the FBI? You may think, I'm not a bad guy, but a lot of the time, many innocent people are sometimes spied on by the FBI. But there are some surefire ways to know if you're being watched by the FBI or not. From mysterious things happening with your phone to vehicles outside your house. I'm Charlie, and today we're going to look at ways to know if the FBI is spying on you. But before I get arrested, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too. Coming up first, we have business vans. Look outside your window right now and I'm sure you'll see lots of vehicles outside your house. These may be your neighbor's cars parked up or cars driving by. But do you see any vans parked outside your house? One surefire way to know the FBI is watching you is that there's an unmarked white van with tinted windows outside your home. This van may stay there for several days and not go anywhere. You'll also not see anyone go in or out of it. Well, these vans aren't doing nothing, they're actually waiting and listening. It may sound like something from a movie, but these vans are real. They have gigantic listening devices which listen into your phone calls. And if your house is bugged with listening devices and secret cameras, they may be watching you and listening to your every move. Now, a lot of the time, these will be unmarked white vans. But more often than that, they're actually going to be fake commercial vans. It may be a flower delivery service or some kind of business van. But really, these businesses don't exist and they're a front for an FBI spying investigation. One man from California named John Lang was known for exposing corrupt cops. He saw one cleaning van keep parking up outside his house and caught it on security footage. A few days later, John was found to be not alive in his house. And when people looked into the cleaning company on the side of the van later on, they found out the company did not exist. Many now say the cops, or maybe the FBI, had something to do with the mystery of John Lang. Next up is outfit changes. When you're out, do you often see the same people all around you? You may think you're going crazy when that delivery driver suddenly looks a lot like the office worker who passed you in the street. Maybe someone seemed to be rubbernecking you when you were sitting in the local coffee shop. Well, these fears may not be paranoia. One type of an FBI agent is known as an SSG. These people belong to the Special Surveillance Group. They employ various people who keep changing their outfits and follow specific targets. Because they're pros at disguises and changing their outfits, many of the people they're following never know they're being followed. But keep a lookout at the passing faces next time you're in the street. You never know, you could be followed by a lot of people who keep changing their clothing. If you look closely, these people may even have miniature earpieces inside their ears. That's because they're communicating over radio at all times. They'll be tracking their targets and moving from location to location. And of course, they always bring with them a bag of clothing to change into various different disguises. Next up is data usage. Have you noticed data usage on your phone suddenly going up for no reason? Well, if it seems like your charges are going up every month from your phone provider, then that could be a sign that you're being spied on. A common reason people notice a spike in their data is their phone has been infected by spyware. This could allow the FBI to take a look at your daily activities on your phone. Many people don't even realize that spyware exists for phones. You may think only clunky old PCs can get viruses and spyware, but that is not the case. This can also allow them to steal your private information and use it against you later. So if you notice your data going up, then make sure you don't have any spyware installed on your phone. If you do have this, then your movements can also easily be tracked. They can also steal all of your passwords you put into your social media or bank accounts. And of course, all of your phone calls and texts will be recorded. On most phones, you can check into what apps are running in the background. Some of these apps may be infected by spyware, which could be the culprit for the increased usage in data. Next up is NAMESAKE. You may be saying, why on earth would I be being spied on if I'm a totally law-abiding person? Well, I'll put it like this. One John Smith may be a good guy, but another John Smith may be a bad guy. What I mean by this is, you may have the same name as someone on a government watch list. Let's say a man named Mark Johnson is on the FBI's spy list. What they may do is target various people named Mark Johnson as a mistake. If you're frequently stopped at the airport, this may be why. For example, people named Mohammed have a higher chance of being stopped at the airport. This is not due to any kind of prejudice, but simply because other people with similar names to them are also on FBI watch lists. Namesakes can often mean innocent people are victims of surveillance and investigations. But if you think you might have the same name as someone on a government watch list, you can apply for a redress process. This is where the FBI check that you're not the person on the watch list and green light you. So if you're tired of being stopped at airport security for no reason, then maybe check this out on the FBI's website. In 2004, a man named John Lewis was on a government watch list. This meant that for years to come, every John Lewis had issues boarding flights because they had the same name. But if you want to check if your name is blocked, then go on the specifically designated Nationals and Blocked Persons list. This is published by the US Treasury, so be sure to check it out online. Next up is car GPS. We've already covered how your movements can be tracked if your phone has spyware. But another common way the FBI tracks people's movements is by using trackers. If you see cars constantly following you, then this could be the FBI stalking your car. The way to see if you're being tracked is to check for a GPS in the undercarriage of your car. These are often very small and can be in the wheel well or the exhaust system as well. So if you're suspicious, grab a flashlight and check under your car. Maybe even run your hand underneath the areas, making sure your car is not too hot to burn yourself. Remember, anyone can buy these trackers online now, so if you do find one, it may not necessarily be from the FBI. But it's still something to watch out for, as you do not want your vehicle to be tracked. Next up is noises on phone calls. When you're talking during phone calls, do you ever hear strange noises and clicks during those calls? Maybe you hear some pops and static. Well, if that's the case, then your phone line may be tapped. This is a very classic form of surveillance and is still used a lot today. Using technology, radio frequencies can be used to record your conversations. This will allow the FBI or anyone to hear the sensitive information you're sharing on a private call. So if you hear tapping or maybe some odd noise during your phone conversations, you may be being wiretapped. If you want to test this, then you can go to your phone carrier and ask for a line test. Tapped phones may also sometimes receive alphanumeric text messages. These will appear on your phone as a voicemail, and a series of letters and numbers will be read out. This can be a sign that a government or an amateur may be attempting to tap your cell phone. Next up, we have webcam light. Take a look at your webcam. Do you see an LED light which is always on? WikiLeaks recently released a lot of files proving the FBI spies on people using electronic devices. And one of the most popular devices used were webcams in computers. The only physical sign that a webcam has been compromised is that the LED light is always on. But apparently the FBI and Mi5 have the technology to turn this light on while still spying on you. That's why it's often best to put tape over your webcam camera. Many tech geniuses, for example Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, put tape over their webcam camera. And Edward Snowden says anyone who doesn't put tape over their webcam camera is a crazy person. And finally on the list, we have airport checks. Do you always get flagged up at the airport? Well, if that's the case, then it's a sign your name is on a government watch list. Many people have not been able to board their flights over controversial social media posts. People can't be put on a blacklist for unreliable or non-credible information, but social media posts are not disregarded. And the NSA has the capacity to spy on every American's social media posts and link it to your passport. So sadly, be very careful about what you post online. For example, one British couple were detained at an airport. They were going from the UK to the USA, and the day before they'd wrote, "We're going to blow up America." This is obviously a common expression, meaning they're going to have a crazy fun time. But that is not how the FBI took this, and they thought they were people who were going to explode a building in the USA. So be careful about that, and if you keep getting stopped at airports, you may be on a blacklist. Now it's time to make your opinion heard. Vote in the poll in the top right corner. Do you think the FBI could be spying on you? If you want some more amazing videos, then check out my second channel. There'll be a link to that on screen in a moment. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.